It's early evening in Tokyo, and a woman is walking up to her apartment door after a long day at work. The train was packed. Her feet ache a little, the way they do after standing for 40 minutes holding onto a strap. She's tired in that specific way, where all you want is to disappear into your own space and just exist for a while, without anyone needing anything from you. She unlocks the door, steps inside, and stops. She doesn't just walk in, her shoes come off right there in a small tiled entryway called the Genkan. It's barely bigger than a doormat, but it might be one of the most important little spaces in the entire home. A pair of soft slippers is already waiting for her, turned to face the room, where she left them that morning without even thinking about it. Her bag stays near the door. It doesn't come any further inside, and before she does anything else, before she sits down, before she checks her phone, she walks straight to the sink and washes her hands. No one told her to do it. No one's standing there reminding her. There's no checklist hanging by the door. It's what she's always done. Ever since she was a little kid, she watched her parents come home, take off their shoes, wash their hands, and do it all without saying a single word. After a while, it wasn't something you had to remember. It simply became part of coming home. And here's the thing. If you showed this little sequence to someone from a lot of Western countries, it might look a bit excessive. A little much. Shoes off before you even say hello to your own living room? Washing your hands before you've even sat down? For a lot of people, that feels like overkill for an empty apartment where nobody's judging you anyway. But what if it's not really about germs at all? What if this quiet little routine is actually revealing something much deeper about how people think, how they treat each other, and how they experience the very idea of home? Because most of us think hygiene is basically removing germs. Wash your hands, that's it. But in Japan, cleanliness means something bigger. It's not really about being spotless. It's really about consideration, thinking about the people around you, taking care of the spaces everyone shares, and maybe most importantly, making it easier for the version of you that's just walked through the door and wants to finally breathe. So today, I want to walk you through 7 everyday habits that are common in many Western households, things people do 1,000 times without a second thought, that honestly catch Japanese people off guard. And I promise you, by the end of this video, at least one of them is going to make you rethink something you do almost automatically. One of them, honestly, surprised me the most when I first came across it. But before we get into the list itself, there's one idea I want you to sit with for a second, because it changes how everything else makes sense. In Japan, there's this deep, almost invisible boundary between outside and inside. The street is chaos. It's shared. It's dirty in the ordinary sense. It's public. It belongs to everyone and no one at the same time. But home is meant to be sacred. It's the one place that's supposed to stay untouched by all of that noise. And every single habit we're about to walk through exists, in one way or another, to protect that line. Once you notice that, the rest of this stops looking like a random list of rules and starts looking like one single idea, just repeated 7 different ways. So, number 1 is walking into your house wearing your outdoor shoes. For a lot of people, this is Tuesday. You get home, you're exhausted, you nudge the door shut with your foot, and you don't think twice about what's on the bottom of your shoes. But stop and actually picture everything those shoes touch today. Sidewalks, train floors, office carpets, public restroom tiles, the floor of a crowded elevator somebody just coughed in. And when you stop and think about it, it makes sense. Your shoes have been everywhere. Sidewalks, train platforms, parking lots, even public restrooms. Studies have found they can bring home bacteria, bits of pesticide residue, and even tiny traces of heavy metals without you ever noticing. In Japan, this is why the Genkan exists. A small sunken entryway where shoes come off immediately, and slippers take over from there. It's a tradition that goes back centuries, tied to tatami flooring, to sitting on the floor, to sleeping close to the ground on a futon. But here's what I didn't fully appreciate at first. It's not physical, it's mental. Taking your shoes off is like telling your own brain, okay, the outside world stays outside now. In a way, home starts the moment you step through the door. Not when you sink into the couch or climb into bed, but right there, with that very first step inside. Number 2 goes even deeper. And it's one most people never even think to question. Sitting on your bed, still wearing the same clothes you wore all day. Same idea, really. Those clothes have been on trains, pressed against office chairs, brushed against door handles, who knows what else. Many Japanese homes treat the futon, or the bed, as a clean zone, almost untouchable by outside fabric. So you change into home clothes first, before you sit, before you lie down, before you let your guard down. It doesn't sound like a big deal at first. In fact, it almost feels too small to matter. But over time, it creates this quiet feeling that your bed is different. It's one place the outside world never really reaches. A space that's still calm, still clean, and exactly the way you left it that morning. Number 3, and this one's almost a small ceremony in itself, performed the same way, every single day, without exception. The funny thing is, the moment many people in Japan get home, they don't head for the couch or the kitchen first. Before they do anything else, they walk straight to the sink and wash their hands. Sometimes they gargle too. And this isn't something people suddenly started doing a few years ago. It's been part of everyday life in Japan for generations. Long before most of us had ever even heard the word pandemic, kids were already growing up with this routine. Think about what your hands actually touch in a single day. Train straps, elevator buttons, shopping baskets, door handles, 100 surfaces you never even register touching. And washing them isn't just about hygiene in the narrow sense. It's a reset. A clear, physical moment that says, the public part of my day is officially over now. Now, here's where things start to shift a little. The next few habits aren't really about your home anymore. They're about how you treat the world outside of it, the parts you share with strangers. Number 4, eating while walking down the street. Totally normal in a lot of places. Grab a coffee, grab a sandwich, keep moving, multitask your way through lunch without even slowing your pace. But in Japan, a lot of people will actually stop, even just for a minute, even just leaning against a wall near the shop, to eat properly, and then keep going. Food is traditionally treated with a kind of quiet respect, and shared public spaces are treated as something everyone is responsible for keeping clean, together, without anyone assigning the job. There's something almost meditative about it, honestly, when you really picture it. Slowing down to eat isn't just tidier. It's cleaner in a completely different sense. Cleaner in attention, cleaner in intention. Number 5. Out of all the habits on this list, this might be the one that surprised me the most when I first heard about it. Think about riding a packed train. Someone pulls out a tissue and blows their nose. For a lot of people in Western countries, that's completely normal. Nobody really pays much attention. In Japan, many people will quietly step aside or simply wait until they're somewhere more private, rather than do it in front of a carriage full of strangers. And it's not really a hygiene rule at all. It's social harmony, a sense that your own comfort shouldn't come at the expense of someone else's peace. And what's interesting is just how contagious that kind of consideration actually is. When people see it modeled around them, quietly, day after day, they start doing it too, without anyone ever explaining why. Number 6. You finish using a shared bathroom, glance at yourself in the mirror, and just leave. Wet counter, a little mess by the sink, no second thought given to whoever walks in right after you. In Japan, kids are taught this from a very young age, through actual school cleaning duties called soji. where students clean their own classrooms and hallways themselves. No janitor doing it for them. It's woven into childhood, long before it ever becomes an adult habit. 10 extra seconds wiping down a counter doesn't feel like much in the moment, but it quietly tells the next person, someone you'll probably never even meet, you matter too. And number 7, this is the quietest one on the whole list, but maybe the most important. A quick wipe of a phone screen, a light clean of a doorknob, a few seconds run over a keyboard before you sit down to work. Nothing dramatic, nothing that even looks like cleaning from the outside. The secret isn't scrubbing harder once something gets visibly dirty. It's tiny maintenance before it ever gets the chance to become that. And behavioral science actually backs this up. Small, repeatable habits stick far better than occasional deep cleaning marathons that you dread and keep putting off. It was never really about being perfect. It's about being consistent. And if you notice, we started with shoes and floors, and somehow ended up talking about how people treat total strangers on a crowded train. That's not really an accident. The deeper you go into this list, the less it's actually about cleanliness in the traditional sense. It's about respect. It's about protecting peace, your own peace, and everyone else's, at exactly the same time, without one costing the other. So here's something simple you could actually try, starting today, without overthinking it. Don't take on all 7 at once. Just pick one. Maybe it's washing your hands the second you walk through the door tonight. Maybe it's wiping your phone screen before bed. Don't try to overhaul your whole life in one afternoon. Just notice how one small ritual quietly changes the feeling of coming home, even a little. Because if there's one thing this entire list reveals, it's this. A clean home isn't lighter because it has less dirt in it. It's lighter because it has less friction, less noise, less of the outside world quietly following you inside, uninvited, without you ever realizing it had. So, which one of these actually caught you off guard? Is there one you're already doing without realizing it, or one you're genuinely going to try tonight? I'd honestly love to know. And if this way of thinking about everyday life resonated with you even a little, there's a lot more of it waiting here, so stick around.